So hi guys, it's GeminiGem back again like I never left with a public sneak peek of the BOGO deals for the week of January 7th through January 13th if you are in Georgia. If you're in Florida, I think it's January 8th through the 14th. So let's jump into the deals. So our first deal is going to be the Boulder Canyon kettle chips. So you can grab two at $4.79, or if you're in a half BOGO state, any other state other than Florida, you can just grab one for half price. So one would be $2.39. Also, the Cape Cod kettle chips are going to be $5.29. So you could grab one at $2.64. And our next chips are going to be like the 5.5 to 10.75 of the Doritos. At my store, they're $6.29. Grabbing one would be $3.14 for the cheapest. Also, the Ruffles, same thing, the 5.5 through 10.75, the cheapest are $5.99. So grabbing one would be $2.99. Then we have the Utz pretzels at my store. They are $4.79. So grabbing one would be $2.39 for those. Then we have the Skinny popcorn. I see the 6 count. They also said 4.4 ounce, but I only saw the 6 count boxes, which are $5.99. So grabbing one would be $2.99. We also have the Pirates Booty rice and corn puffs. The 4 ounce bag are $3.69. So grabbing one would be $1.84. Then we have the planters, the mixed nuts these are the 8 to 10.3 ounces. So the cheapest I saw is $7.49. So grabbing one would be $3.74. I did record the cashews, but it do say cashew halves and pieces, so just to be on the safe side, I'm gonna do those though, the 8 to 3 ounce. They are $8.79, so grabbing one would be $4.39. Then we have the Annie's baked crackers and the bunny grams. Both of those are $4.99, so grabbing one would be $2.49. Then we have the Gimme Organic Roasted Seaweed Snacks. So I saw the bigger ones at $4.59, so grabbing one would be $2.29. But then I saw some at $2.39, so grabbing one would be $1.19 if you want to try those out. Next, we have the Nabisco Ritz toasted chips, or the crisp and thin. The ones at my store are $4.99, so grabbing one would be $2.49. Then the Lenny and Larry cookies, the 1.6 to 4 ounces, they have some for $2.29, so grabbing one would be $1.14 at my store. Then we have the Belvita biscuits back. They're 8.8 ounce. They are $5.39, so grabbing one would be $2.69. This is also an Ibotta rebate. Then the Nature Valley, the bars, the biscuits, the crispy wafer bars, but the cheapest are $5.19. So grabbing one would be $2.39 at my store. Then we have the Dave's, the snack bites or bars. They are the 7.2 ounce. They are $5.79. So grabbing one would be $2.89. Then we have the Nature's Path Organic Granola 11-ounce bag at $6.69. So grabbing one would be $3.34. We have Quaker Oat Instant Oatmeal. The cheapest at my store are $3.99. So grabbing one would be $1.99. We also have the Quaker Oats Grits, the 9.8 ounce at my store at $4.29. So grabbing one would be $2.14. And more oatmeal, the Kodiak instant oatmeal, the 6 count are gonna be $6.49. So grabbing one would be $3.24 at my store. Next is gonna be Pillsbury the cake, the brownie, the bread, the cookie mix. So the cake mix is $2.85. So grabbing one would be $1.42. And as well as the Pillsbury frosting. Now in my store they're saying $1.99. So I'm gonna go with that and say you can grab one at 99¢. Then we have also the Annie, the Annie Mac, the pasta, the vegan and cheese things. The cheapest I saw were $2.69. So grabbing one would be $1.34. But we have all different varieties of these, the Super Mac and all of that. Next, the Bertolli olive oil, the 32 ounce is $22.99. So grabbing one would be $11.49 for those. Then we have the Amy's soup, or also the organic chilies. They are $4.39. So grabbing one would be $2.19 for those. Next, we have the Imagine soups. They are going to be how much? $5.69. So grabbing one would be $2.84. And also the broths are going to be $5.39. Grabbing one would be $2.69. The bone broth is not included. The Martha White muffin mix are going to be $1.79. So you can grab one for 89¢. The Hellmann's mayo, the 15 ounce is $5.19. So grabbing one would be $2.59. Then we have the Heinz ketchup. The cheapest is going to be the 14 ounce, which is $2.99. So grabbing one would be $1.49. We also have the La Canta sweetener. And at my store, the cheapest is $4.24. So grabbing one would be $2.12 for those sweeteners. The next deal is going to be the Louisiana hot sauce, the 12 ounce. They're going to be $3.29 for two. So grabbing one would be $1.64. I'll get into our sauce section, y'all. The G.H. Hughes barbecue sauce are the $3.99, as well as the G.H. Hughes marinade is also $3.99. So grabbing one would be $1.99 if you want to try those out. I think those are like sugar free. Then the Tuffy Stone barbecue sauces, the 16 ounce are $8.99. So grabbing one would be $4.49. We have the Hunt's tomatoes, the diced tomatoes and all those, 14 to 15 ounces, $1.89. So grabbing one would be 94¢, as well as the Hunt's tomato sauce is going to be $1.50. So grabbing one would be 75¢ for that half price. Next, the Rotel tomatoes, the 10 ounce are going to be $1.59. So grabbing one would be 79¢. For those, next we got the Old El Paso back, y'all. It's been a minute, but they're back. So the taco shells, the tortillas, the bowls. Now the cheapest I think I saw were the flour tortillas, which are $2.99. So grabbing one would be $1.49. So also the enchilada sauces, which are $2.69. So one would be $1.34. Are included. I'm believing everything in Old Paso is going to be buy one get one, except for the kits. Next, we have the Peter Pan peanut butter, the 16.3 ounce. It's going to be $3.41. Grabbing one would be $1.70. Next, we have a candy bonanza, y'all. So the $5.99. These are the 7.15 to 15.6 ounces. We have Starburst. We have Nerds gummies. We have Skittles. We also have Lifesavers. I don't really consider Lifesavers candies, but okay. Lifesavers and Starburst. We got Sweet Tarts. Also the Trolley and Lemon Heads, but they are going to be $5.99. So grabbing one would be $2.99 if you have a sweet tooth and want to do that. Now these Tony's chocolates at my store, these are $6.49. This is a 6.35 ounce. I'm not sure if they're included, but we'll see. The Yasso yogurt bars, the ice cream cakes are going to, they are $5.99, so grabbing one would be $2.99. Then we have the Oreo ice cream bars, which are going to be $6.89. So grabbing one would be $3.44. We also have these Dole Whip frozen treats. They are $7.59. So grabbing one would be $3.79. Then the My Mochi ice cream, they are $5.99. So grabbing one would be $2.99 for those. Next, we have these Nature's Premium Fruit Bites with pearls of frozen juice. They are $5.59. So grabbing one would be $2.79 in my store. So then, y'all, on one of them, it had this dollar off two coupon attached. Then we have the bagel bites, the pizza snacks. I did see some for $6.85, which would be $3.42. Then the bagel dogs, the mini dogs, they are $7.99, which would be $3.99. Then we have the Dr. Prager's burgers. They did say for the entrees, but I didn't see any of those. But if these are included, they are $5.99. So $5.79. One would be $2.89. Then these actual veggie burgers are $6.99. So grabbing one would be $3.49. We have the lean cuisines. The cheapest are $3.35. So grabbing one would be $1.67 for those. Then we have the New York bakery breads. Y'all, I don't believe the gluten-free are included, so sorry for showing those. But the garlic knots, the garlic rolls, the Texas toast, the cheapest at my store is $3.39. So grabbing one would be $1.69. We have the Pillsbury toaster strudels. The 6 count, they are $3.49. So grabbing one would be $1.74. Also the Pillsbury toaster scrambles are $3.65. So grabbing one would be $1.82. Then we have these Sambozen Asia bowls, Asia bowls, but they are $3.99. So grabbing one would be $1.99 for those. Then we have the Smucker's Uncrustables. The 4-pack at my store are $4.79. So grabbing one would be $2.39. Y'all, I do like these things. I did not think I would, but I do. The Pillsbury Crescents are going to be $3.29. So grabbing one would be $1.64. Y'all, we know the deal with these. But also the cookies are back. The cookie dough, they are $5.49. So grabbing one would be $2.74 for the Pillsbury. It's the Pillsbury week. Now the Tyson chicken tenders, the strips, the bites, the dice, the all of these, the chicken breast, the 20 to 22 ounces are going to be buy one get one. Now the cheapest I see is $10.43. So grabbing one would be $5.21. So just the 20 to 22 ounces. Then the John Soul's Kitchen entrees, the 12 to 28 ounces. The cheapest I saw were $10.79. So grabbing one would be $5.39. They do range in price, but the cheapest I saw were the $10.79 ones. Then the Paraviti vegetables, the 10-ounce bags are $4.89. So grabbing one would be $2.44, and that is going to be our vegetables of the week for those. I've never tried those. The Dave's Killer Breads are going to be the cheapest at $6.59. So grabbing one would be $3.29. The Thomas English Muffins are going to be $5.49. So grabbing one would be $2.74, and this is also an Ibotta rebate. Some more Ibotta rebates. We got the all fabric sheets, the 80 count at $5.19. So grabbing one would be $2.59. And I bought a rebate. Another one is the all fabric softener, the 34 ounce. They're $5.99. So grabbing one would be $2.99. Then also the all laundry detergent, the 73 ounce is are $15.99. So grabbing one would be $7.99. Also the 39 count of the all mighty packs will be $15.99. So one at $7.99. This is also in Ibotta rebate, so that's a all kind of week for the Ibotta rebates. Next, the Carbana Stain Devil Specialty Stain Remover, like all the kind of items, but I only saw these at $5.49, so making them $2.84 for one. The Scrubbing Bubbles Toilet Cleaning Gel, the 1 counts, are $5.39 at my store, so grabbing one would be $2.69. We also, now the Snuggle, the 120 count at my store are $8.79, so grabbing one would be $4.39, and these are also an Ibotta rebate for the 120 count. The Village Candle Melts are $3.99, so grabbing one would be $1.99, and the Village Candles, the 14 ounce, are $16.99. So grabbing one would be $8.49. And I just feel like if I'm gonna do that, I might as well go to Bath and Body Works for the candles. But hey, if you see it, find a scent, get it. Next, the Cabot cheese bars, the 6 or 8 ounce, are going to be $4.38 at my store. So grabbing one would be $2.29. Now there's lots of different yogurts. I just couldn't do them all, y'all. So the Chobani yogurt, the 32 ounce, is going to be $6.89. So grabbing one would be $3.49 for those. Then the Happy Eggs going to be back. They're sold out in my store already. I knew they would be. They're $5.99, so grabbing one would be $2.99. Next, we have the Mush Overnight Oats, which are 3 for $7. So grabbing two would be $2.33, but if you just grab one, it'll be $1.16. Next week, the Nut Pod Creamers are back. They are $5.59 for two. Then one would be $2.79, and this is also not about a rebate. Then the Oatly oat milk, the 32 ounce, is going to be $4.49. So grabbing one at $2.24. Then we have the Fresh Attitude salads. So I saw these for $5.99, but I do believe mine are usually around $4.15. They're on a special price this week, but I think they're usually $4.15. So grabbing one would be $2.07 if I'm thinking correctly. But that's going to be our salads, the Fresh Attitude salads. Then we have the Perro Family Farm snipped green beans, the 12 ounce at my store are going to be $3.99. So grabbing one would be $1.99 for those. Then we have our strawberries, the 16 ounce, they're going to be $4.99 again. So grabbing one would be $2.49 for those. Then the next thing is going to be the Publix New York style potato salad, the 16 ounce at my store are $4.29. So grabbing one would be $2.14. It only specified the New York style ones. Then we have the Sabra hummus, the singles, the classic or roasted red peppers. They are $6.99. So grabbing one would be $3.49 for those. Next, we have the Hatfield ham steaks, the 8 ounce. They're back again for $3.99. So grabbing one would be $1.99. Then we have the Hebrew National natural kosher beef franks. They are $8.89. So grabbing one would be $4.44. Then we have the Hormel natural choice lunch meats. They are $5.69. So grabbing one would be $2.84. Next we have the Smithfield bacon, only the thick cut, the 24 ounce. Back again. So at my store they're $10.99. So grabbing one would be $5.49. And then we have the Publix, the peeled and deveined, the white shrimp, the 24 ounce. Sorry, couldn't really get in there, but they are $17.99. So grabbing one would be $8.99. Then we have the Publix shrimp scampi, the coconut shrimp, the Cajun of the or the panko braided, the 12-ounce boxes. They're $11.99. So grabbing one would be $5.99 to get your seafood in. Next, the Motrin pain relievers, the 80 to 100 counts are going to be buy one, get one. So the 80 counts are $16.49. So grabbing one would be $8.24. Then we have the children's Tylenol cough and cold. They are $9.29 for the 4 ounce. So grabbing one would be $4.64. Then the Tylenol Precise, the 4 ounce. They are $13.99 at my store, so grabbing one would be $6.99. And y'all, there are plenty more deals, but that's all I got. So if you like the video, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be sure to see you guys in the next video. Bye!